So once again, I have to be able to release this car and set the handbrake so it doesn't go rolling back. But I don't have a handbrake right now, so what I'm going to do is just use anything. In this case, I'm going to use just a bright boy since there's no conductivity here. It's not going to short out the track. So I'm just going to place it, near it so that I can release this and it won't go rolling too far. So eventually I might have like a tortoise switch with a pin that comes up, but I feel like then you need to spot it like exactly every time, and that's not, I don't know, that's not realistic to me. So we're going to go ahead and move the train forward a little bit so we can access that turnout. So here we go. And what's nice is that I can work on this main and not have to worry about the unit train coming through, because it'll just go right past us on the other track. And okay, so now that I'm clear, the way we access this is by getting permission from the lumber yard office, and they will give us access to our panel. And the way this panel works is that you hit that toggle switch and you get a map and controls for the facility. I love how this came out, by the way. I'm really happy with it. So then once this is out, this is the switch. Remember I told you that I like to have a switch whenever I access servos. So that's that switch. And I'm having a little trouble with the wiring here because I use very thin wiring. And because of that, it's been acting up a little bit. So what I'm going to do anyway, because I'm dropping off this first, I'm going to make sure that I give myself access. Right there, I just switched this one. And then I need to be lined up right here for this track so that I can drop off the beam, the center beam car. But first I need to put this car in there so that it can be loaded. That's part of the paperwork. So I'm going to back my train up. Right. And as the train makes its way back, just trying to get this thing to work. Yeah, so once the power cables are a little bit better, it'll stop doing that. There it goes. Okay, just cleared. So slowly making my way back. I have to obviously be careful with the crew here, whoever's working this facility, and I'm going to hopefully couple. Nope, didn't quite make it. Let's see if we can push back a little bit, and boom, got it. Okay, it's a good couple. We're going forward. Up. And we've had our first accident. Okay, so lawsuit and lots of money. Here's what happened. I never asked the dispatcher to clear that main. So I just heard the train derail. Let's see what happened. Oh, major catastrophe here. Train's off the track. Big problems. Lots of money. Okay, so let's fix the situation here. I got my crane company here. The 5-finger crane, and let's get this train back on the tracks. The news is going to be all over this one, so we need to make sure we get that crossover, that turnout back while the engine starts up. Wow, huge problems. All right, so Let's attach this engine once again. Hopefully the lawsuit won't be that big. And let's just make sure that train's running. And looks like it is. So as that train makes its way up again, hopefully there won't be any more accidents. Back to this scenario. So we're going to pull forward once again. And once I clear this switch here, I hate these couplers. They're just so springy. The Atlas ones are nice and stiff, so they don't have that little springiness to it. Then I'm going to ask the brakeman to switch this over, and I'm going to uncouple, which theoretically the brakeman probably would have fell in the water by now if he did it here, but these are very talented crew members. So now I can just shut back and then leave it in the house without having to stick my skewer in there. Here comes the unit train. And let me just make sure it's got clearance. It does. Okay. So here we go. We're going to back this up. And got to drop that off first. And then I'm just going to put the beam car right in front of it so that it can be loaded from the side where that other truck is. Okay, so that should be far enough. Let's go forward. A little bit, and I'm going to drop it off a little further up. It needs to be on the pavement there, and good. So let me uncouple this. There we go. And now move forward once again so we can get the wood chip cars. This is one of the first facilities I ever put together since I built this layout, so the trackage isn't, the most beautiful in the world because I was learning how to do it. So there's some little twisted things and some slightly misaligned, but everything is functioning. So now my brakeman's going to switch that, which is right here. That's where the branch is for the other side. And I need to pick up these 4 wood chip cars. So I'm going to back up once again. And hopefully get a good couple there. Atherin couplers are a little bit tricky. They're tight, I mean they're good, but they're a little tight when you're trying to hook up with an Atlas coupler. I know people hate Atlas couplers, but I love them. I think they're, I know some of them are a little faulty and they come apart, but I've had Atlas forever and I've never had any problems, and none of that springiness. But I tried to get fancy with micro trains and do that. I'm just going to do this manually because I think it needs to. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I think we are done here. We just got to pull out and grab our box car once again. So we're going to go forward, and again I'm going to do this a little faster than normal so that I can save a little time. Right now I know this video is way too long and I'm going to have to chop it up into parts. So here it comes out of the facility. Again, I could do whatever I want as far as taking my time on this main because the dispatcher has given me full access to this line with no interruption. So my brakeman's going to switch that one last time. This is the last switch, and then they're going to call over to the office and tell them that we're done. So power off. That's the lock, basically, and then this puts the panel back in, and then we can get back to work. The nice thing about this is that it's got an auto off, so as soon as it hits the end, it stops. So even though this is powered right now, it's not sending any power to the actual motor, so nothing's going to burn out. But it is, what I like to do is just put it in the middle, which is the off position, just to be safe. All right, so now we're lined up. We're going to back the train up and get our boxcar back on the train. So it's 2 cars, 1 car, half a car, and good. Looks like we might be just short of the couple. Let me try to do it without doing it manually. Just a little more pressure. Oops, wrong way. Oh, I set down here with my panel, so there we go. Okay, so I guess the nice thing about this bright boy is that it slides. So, all right, so we take the slack out because the grade is pulling it back, and so now that the brake is released, we can get on our way. And the last job is going to be the brewery. So here's how that works. I'm going to drop off this hopper and this boxcar, and pick up the ones that the boxcars and flat car that are over there waiting. But the brewery can only be accessed on this line. So most of the industries are from this line, but the one that's that needs this line is a brewery. So that's why I put this crossover here, because I kind of planned ahead a little bit and said, well, if I'm going to do the lumberyard and then head over there, I can just cross over here and access the correct track. So once again, I have to call dispatcher because I have to be careful not to collide with the unit train. So let's see what's happening on the panel, because I have no idea where the unit train is right now. It looks like it's right by the docks. So we're on the upper level. We're nowhere near it right now. The only reason this is the lumber block, for some reason, it's just not working right. It's like turning on and off by itself, and now it's more off than on. So it's not detecting very well. That's the one that's not doing a good job. Okay, sorry, I had a phone call. So we're back to this. So like I said, yeah, this section for some reason is not working well. All right, so the main line, the unit train's coming through town now, and we're at the top. So we're going to take advantage. Well, actually, I think I'm going to have to let it pass because it gets up there pretty quick. So I'm going to let it clear town, and then once it clears, it goes all the way around and clears the crossover where I'm trying to go, I'll just chase it, and this way I'll have the most amount of time.